I know we're both tired, but I got us something that's gonna wake us right up. It's gonna wake you up. It's gonna put a smile on your face. It's
Is
Gollum.
it Gollum?
It's Gollum.
Yeah, it's Gollum.
It's Gollum. Now, I don't like to necessarily toot my own horn and knew that this was gonna happen, but I knew this was gonna happen. This game. So I've heard a lot of things said about this on Twitter, and I just want to start here, and then I'll turn it over to you, of course. After saying this like as quickly as I can, there's a lot of people on Twitter that have basically said, "Hey, it's not the devs' fault, like the developers, the ones coding the game, blah blah. It's the suits, right?" I partially agree with that. However, many of these reviews are saying this game is just really dull and has bad platforming. I think there was some other stuff regarding the actual requirements of the game being pretty high considering what it is.
Oh, the PC port is atrociously bad.
Yeah,
like to run it on
bad.
max settings, you literally have to have a 4090. It's so stupid. And the game looks terrible. It looks terrible.
Here's what I'm going to say on this, and then I'll let you take it from here. I partially agree with hey, hold on, the people coding it. Let's take it easy on the developer. They're just doing what the direction of somebody else is. Hold on. If the game is so bad that it's just like, wow, the whole direction of this game is bad, I do put a little bit of blame on the developer. I'm not expecting a designer to come out with a home run for a game called Lord of the Rings Gollum. But it sounds like, based on everything I've heard, that this game, everything about it is bad. And I think the developer does take some blame there. The suit that came up with this idea, you're an idiot. But the developer, I do think, takes some small share of blame. Somebody came up with a design idea for this. It obviously wasn't implemented well, even with the idea of, like, you guys got to make Lord of the Rings Gollum. I feel like somebody who was more in tune with this game, given the bad direction of you have to make Lord of the Rings Gollum, still might have been able to come out of this with an okay game. I'm not saying great. I'm saying like maybe 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
So I do put a little bit of blame on the developer. I disagree.
So we could get this could have been Redfall. This could have been Redfall Part 2 and not worse than Redfall.
Yeah. I mean, I do think that they're like, okay, I do think the dev does share some blame. It is your job to try and do and put your best foot forward and make something work. And like, I do put a little bit of blame on the dev. I gotta disagree with the Twitter people. They're like, don't blame the dev. I do a little bit. Your job is, my expectation of this was like, okay, it's gonna be like a 6 out of 10, forgettable, move on. And that would have been a success for the dev. This is a 4 out of 10 and is the worst game this year, based on what I'm seeing here. I mean, obviously, there's probably something that came out worse.
Actual serious game that there's usually a few every year where there are games that kind of nobody's heard of but came out and they're just absolute dumpster fires. Yeah, like this is a dumpster fire, but
this has the name Lord of the Rings on it. It can't,
and it's published by like probably WB. I think it's WB, but I don't remember. It has a big publisher behind it. I don't remember which one it is.
I do blame the publisher for coming up with this idea and telling somebody to make it. But at the same time, the guy making it, even if you're given a bad hand, I expect you to do something okay with it. I don't expect a miracle. This game never would have done anything better than like a 6 out of 10 for me. But this is bad.
Yeah, it's hard to say whose fault this was in terms of whether it's the dev or the publisher or the suits, whatever. I agree with you. The suit or suits who came up with this idea in the first place to make a Gollum game, just like you should be fired.
Yeah, that was dumb.
It was just a terrible idea in the first place.
Yep, agreed. It was dumb.
It feels like they had one good idea for this game, and this theoretically could have been interesting had it been implemented right, but it wasn't, and this game was terrible. but the like morality system of like Gollum versus Smeagol and like that tug of war within the character of, you know, making different choices, and, you know, Gollum and Smeagol, you know, yeah, again, that kind of like tug of war dual personality thing. I think if done well with, again, some sort of morality system and the choices actually matter, etc., etc., that could have been interesting, and you could have told an interesting story in this game.
Right.
And reading through the blurbs on some of the reviews, I did see a few reviews who rated it, you know, a little higher, you know, in the 6 or 7 range. There were a few reviews that actually gave it like 6s and 7s, which is kind of hard to believe, but, you know, whatever. Who actually said, you know, there's some decent ideas here, and they thought the story was pretty good, but, you know, obviously the execution is pretty poor. The gameplay is
Yeah.
stale and boring, and there's lots of fetch quests and just boring like chores and menial tasks.
Because what is Gollum supposed to do? It's Gollum. Gollum
Yeah.
is like, he's the
No,
creepy
there's no
guy.
combat. There's no combat in this game. You can stealth kill like a few types of enemies, but there's plenty of enemies that you are not allowed to stealth kill.
Yeah, of course, it's Gollum.
But you can't fight. Like if an enemy notices you and you get touched, you insta die. So
Yeah. So it's 100% a stealth game. And if the stealth doesn't work, that's a problem. So I think there were people who were like, the stealth doesn't work. So
yeah,
that's pretty bad.
again, everything I've seen is like the stealth is terrible. The game looks terrible. I've heard that, again, on the positive side, that the music is pretty decent,
I
and
hope so.
I've heard some people say they like the voice acting for Gollum, and I haven't heard a lot of it. I heard some of it. I didn't like it very much myself, but I don't know. There were parts that I heard that were like, oh, that sounds okay, and then other parts I'm like, oh god, that's awful. So I don't know. It's maybe a mixed
They
bag.
couldn't have just gotten the guy
Um,
again. They couldn't have got him. I don't
God,
remember
you
who.
think this game had that kind of budget? This game feels like it got, like, they had the idea, they started pre-production, and then they got like partway through developing, and they either like ran out of money, or everyone realized it was a terrible freaking idea, and they're basically like, all right,
Yeah.
I guess we're not just gonna sunk cost foul. This game should have been canceled. Like, this game should have gotten to that point, and they're like, yeah, okay, cut our losses, cancel. We're not putting this out. But instead, they decide, no, let's crumble together some, you know,
Something.
diarrhea
And see if people buy
dog
it.
turd of a game, and charge $50 for it and see if people actually buy it because it has the Lord of the Rings name
Yeah, I
on
mean,
it.
like,
Like,
somebody's gonna buy it because it says Lord of the Rings on it. Like, that's just, sorry, it's just a fact. So that's probably what they're thinking. They're like, all right, let's just get something okay together and put it out there, and we'll make a little bit of money back. The problem is, it wasn't okay. It was bad. That's the problem. Like, there's nothing wrong with it, like a game like this being just okay. Like, having an okay stealth game with Gollum as your main character. Gollum's whole thing is morality. That's literally the character. It's the character that fell from, you know, from normal life because of the ring. The ring tortured his soul. It's the whole point of the character. So, like, if you can't convey that effectively with some good, like, it should have had okay to good stealth. I just don't, I don't know. Like, that's kind of the whole point of Gollum, which is why I said again, like, many times, this is not a good game idea. It's not a good game idea.
yeah.
It's like a good short story idea, not a video game.
And literally every creator that I've watched, you know, like reviewer or creator I've watched do a video on this game has said, like, why did they make this? Like, who wants a Gollum game? Like, literally everyone I saw was like, yeah, this was just a bad idea in the first place, and then they...
Your call. I think this would have been better as like a short story kind of idea, like a short story about Gollum, something small. The thing is, like, Gollum has a lot of runtime in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
He
he's an important character.
He is an important character, and he has some runtime, and his story is like the story of Gollum is very interesting with respect to the ring. So it's like what the ring can do to you. So that being said, this is not a game. It's not a game. Like, maybe like a short.
Oh, and by
short
the
thing.
way, the Steam charts for this game were abysmal.
Oh, I'm sure it's like 20 people.
It was more than that, but
20 people? Maybe they're celebrating at the office.
all-time peak 500, 502.
Yeah, that's horrible.
That's worse than I think that's worse than Babylon's Fall. I think Babylon's Fall had more when the game.
Babylon's
came out.
Fall peaked like higher than that, I think.
Like 1,000 or something.
I can't wait for this to hit Game Pass. I tell you what, I'm gonna make this proclamation for you, Spoon. I'm gonna make this proclamation, and you can hold me to it. 100%, you can hold me to it. If I'm doing something or playing something else, and this happens in the news. If this game hits Game Pass in the next 3 months, I'll play it. I'll do a full playthrough. I'll do a full playthrough. 100%.
I saw multiple reviewers say they literally couldn't finish the game.
Nope,
they got like 5 hours into it, and they're like, "Yeah, this game is so bad.
Sucks.
I can't finish it."
Yeah, if this comes out on Game Pass, I'll play it in the next 3 months. It has to be in the next 3 months. So from today until, let's just say, for argument's sake, let's see, end of June and July. I guess like end of August. If this thing hits Game Pass by end of August, I'll play it, the whole thing. Play the whole thing. And I won't complain. I promise I won't.
I don't know why Microsoft would waste their money and like pay to put this shit on Game Pass.
I don't know. Microsoft's weird. Microsoft also released Redfall, and then the very like following day was like, well, we fucked up. Let's just put some stuff out about Starfield. Hee hee. Like, Microsoft doesn't always make good decisions too. Like, they may just it may just be a one of those things where WB's like, look, how much can we get if we put this on Game Pass? We'll take anything. We will take any amount of money for you to put this on Game Pass. And then Microsoft goes back and says, I'll give you a 12-pack of Blue Moon and a 12-pack of Sprite.
Diet Coke.
And Diet Coke. And 6 Diet Coke. Make it a 12-pack of Diet Coke and you got a deal. Nobody's going to do that. Like, why not? And like Game Pass, like Microsoft's really like, I mean, like, if we don't have to pay much, like, who cares? The achievement for beating that game will be the rarest one I ever get. Fact. 100%. That'll be by far the rarest achievement I think I'll ever get. I said if it comes out on Game Pass next 3 months, I will do it. Because I think it'll happen. I think it'll happen. I think we're going to get something from Xbox team. You know how they always post like Game Pass upcoming games?
Yeah.
100%. This will be on Game Pass very soon. They got to get their money. They got to get something.
And of course, by the way, you know, the development studio released an apology letter for the game and said they were going to patch it. Don't bother frickin' patching it.
Don't patch it. Who cares?
This game is hopeless. Just move on.
Don't patch it.
And apparently they are working on another Lord of the Rings game right now.
Don't work on it. Somebody should have immediately tweeted, "Don't work on that."
No. I actually hope that the next game, the Lord of the Rings game they make, is actually really good, and this game was just like they kind of abandoned it halfway through. That's my guess, is they just kind of either ran out of money or they pretty much abandoned the game halfway through because they weren't making anything, and like they had one idea and they had to build a game around it and they couldn't, basically.
It's Gollum, of course. Like,
and so yeah, they just kind of scrapped it and left like 3 people to finish the game and be like, yeah, just put something out and charge $50 for it, and then charge $60 for the premium edition and put some like shitty emotes and whatever else in the game. All right, fine, ship it.
Whatever.
But you remember this game got delayed like 6 months. It was supposed to come out last fall.
Yeah. It must have
and it still came out like this. It still came out like this.
They must have spent the 6 months just trying to get it to actually play, like boot up.
Yeah, it's like you can actually finish.
You can actually boot it up and
the
finish
game
it.
Now.
That's probably what the delay was.
We literally got a beta. We literally got a beta, which is like you can play the game start to finish.
You can play start to finish. What else? No. What else is part of the game? You can start it. Okay, but like, what are the features of the game? You can finish it.
And you can play as Gollum.
Talk to us about your favorite parts of the game. I finished it.
When it was over.
When I saw the credits roll. It was great. Amazing feeling to know that when the credits. Oh my god. I do think this will hit like Game Pass or some shit. I think Microsoft will be like, we'll pay $1,000. And they'll probably take it. They're like, yeah,
they'll take it. They'll take it.
Fuck it. Like $1,000 That's
only
whatever.
only 500 people bought the game on Steam. Or
Yeah,
played
like
it.
500 people theoretically, like more than
And
that.
half of those people refunded it probably.
Oh,
So.
absolutely. I'm sure many of them just were like, no, no, thank you.
And the other half just bought it for the meme because they knew it was terrible.
Yeah,
and
no.
see how bad
There are
it
people
was.
that bought it probably just because it was a meme. Like, there's
And
the
they
meme.
just have disposable income and they don't care. And they're like, all right, this is just a meme. So
Well,
who
it's like
cares?
there's the content creator group that's like, well, we're gonna buy
Yeah.
it because it's great content. Like, I can
Yeah.
just laugh about it.
There's definitely that group. They're like, yeah, all right, Moist Critical's gonna make a 20-minute video of how bad it is. And,
Yeah,
you know,
that's
right?
it. Like, that's what you do. It's like, oh well, this is actually gonna be great content. Like, I'm gonna get 1 million views. Pay $50 for this. It's gonna more than pay that off. Like, whatever. I don't care. There's that group, but that's not like a big group. But yeah, and then there's probably the hardcore Lord of the Rings fans, and hardcore Lord of the Rings fans, I imagine would buy this still.
Really hardcore Lord of the Rings fans. Okay.
And then there's me like this, just like, can't wait till this gets on Game Pass.
Man, you had this pegged
just
from
laughing.
go. As soon as this was announced, you're like, yeah, this game is gonna be terrible.
It's gonna be
When
terrible.
It comes out, it's
I just can't.
terrible.
I just can't see a situation where it's better than okay. Like, if this was okay, I would have said massive victory. Somebody
Big
give
dub.
that dev a huge raise for
Yeah.
getting this idea to a finish line
This
where it's
game
like, yeah, this is okay.
mediocre. This game was mediocre.
This game was like, if it was mediocre, I would have been like, I'll play it. Like, holy shit, how'd you get this to be mediocre? It's Gollum. But like, it's bad. Like, of course, like, come on. There are certain things you see and you're like, okay, that seems really bad. That just seems like a really bad idea. It's not gonna play well. Like, there's certain people that like to do certain kinds of like those stealth games.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're gonna do it. It's anyway. Yeah, I love it. It's not that I like being right. It's just like I love the fact that, like, oh my god, this thing is that bad.
It was worse than I thought this game would be. Like, it wouldn't be good because I agreed with you. I didn't think the idea was very good, but they'd actually put out like a relatively functional product. This is barely functional. Again, you can play it start to finish, and that's about it.
Yeah.
Like, the game is not fun at all. It's broken, buggy.
Oh god.
Controls like crap. It looks like crap. Like, it's just yikes.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait. Can't wait for the Game Pass announcement. Love to see it. Can't wait. And when it happens, and if I catch it, you bet your ass we're going to talk about it. And I'll be like,
Oh, yeah,
looky here. June 27th. They caved immediately. Because nobody else is going to buy it. Nobody's going to buy it. All right. Anything else for Lord of the Rings Gollum? That should wake everybody up. That'll wake everybody up. All right. 1 sec, sorry. Get my water in. All right, next we have Twitch Turbo. A price hike for Twitch Turbo changes from I'm saying it. I know it's $8.99, $9 to $12. I get it. That's a cent, but
that is a huge price increase. 25%.
That's a huge price increase.
No, sorry, 33. No, a third, 33%. Sorry,
Yeah,
9 to 12. Yeah, 30%.
Yeah, that's a big price increase. And I see this tweet, like, how much of the creators get. The creators don't get any of it. Twitch's system is not set up for creators getting Twitch Turbo money. They don't get that. Twitch gets the money. They don't. I don't think Twitch. On YouTube, it's different. On YouTube, if you pay for premium and you watch somebody's video, that person gets money for that. They're like, hey, like, 10% of your audience had premium that watched this. We're going to give you money for that because, you know, you would have gotten ad revenue for that.
Because you would have gotten ad revenue.
YouTube actually does that. Twitch, I bet $1 billion if I ever had it, they don't do that. Twitch is already the ones that are complaining about we don't have enough money.
Yeah,
they're already complaining.
Amazon is just trying to squeeze every last slip. I saw also a thing, this was a little while ago, that I thought I saw at least for, you know, at least one of the streamers that I follow, Ninten, he's a Kingdom Hearts streamer.
Yep.
That, like, the ad incentive program, like, went away.
Yeah, of course, because it sucked. I'm sorry. Sorry, let me be a little bit nicer. The ad incentive program went away because pretty much every creator knew that it was not an incentive program. It was just a farce. But yes, it was terrible. And the fact that it went away, again, you're pretty sure they do. I'm gonna have to look that up then, because that is something that, to be honest, I don't expect Twitch to do that.
I think what I mean about the ad incentive thing is that, like, the extra money for it went away.
Let me check this.
Like, I don't know.
Ah, here we go. Does Twitch Turbo benefit the streamer? I'm curious. Okay, they do. I'm wrong. Twitch does give the streamer a little bit of compensation for missing out on ads because they had Twitch Turbo. I apologize. I am shocked that Twitch is doing that. But I don't know how much it is, but we'll see. But anyway, I'd also like to know the data about Twitch Turbo. How many people sign up for Twitch Turbo? I'm pretty sure TryCourage does.
I mean, the value's getting better and better with how many freaking ads.
It gets way
Twitch
better. It's way better.
Yeah.
It's way more tempting now. It's like, well, I guess if you're someone that only watches like 1 or 2 streamers, you may as well just sub to them.
Yeah, you may as well just sub to them. But if you watch a bunch of
different But if you watch a bunch,
yeah.
it is pretty tempting. I will say it is pretty tempting to want to jump on that. That being said, I think all the streamers I do watch, they're small. Me having Turbo doesn't really support them much. Anyway, It's like, oh, you got a penny that you would have missed out on. I helped you get that 2 pennies for the ads, especially on mobile. Oh yeah. Oh god. Yeah. I forgot about mobile. Mobile must be terrible too, because you don't get any of the like extra views on mobile for like the stream. Like the stream could still be viewable while the ad's playing. You don't get that. Anyway, this is a big price hike. Like going from $9 to $12 is big.
Huge.
That's really big.
I mean, maybe Twitch saw that a bunch of people actually signed up for it recently, because as we said, you know, the ads are getting kind of ridiculous on the platform, so people are actually signing up for it now, and they're like, oh, better jack that price up.
Yeah, it's amazing how something becomes more valuable when you make something shitty.
Yep.
It's like if I make every other soda on the dispenser terrible because I water it down, and only Pepsi's the good one, of course I'm going to go to Pepsi, and then Pepsi, they're going to be like, okay, now it's $10 a drink. It's like, well, yeah no shit it is. This is my only option. You somehow fucked up the water, too. Like, of course. Like, this is just such a stupid thing. It's like, well, we made the rest of the service terrible, so now that this thing is actually pretty good, let's increase the price. It's like, what a terrible, scummy thing
Don't worry.
Think about.
They'll take away the ability for Twitch Turbo to get rid of ads pretty soon in like the next
year
or
two. Oh god, if they did,
they'll get rid of that.
If they did, I don't know how many strikes Twitch gets also compared to
they've got a bunch recently. So
I don't know how many they're allowed. Like Twitch doesn't play baseball; they play some other weird game where they're allowed like 30 strikes before finally people get pissed off enough to leave.
I mean, again, we've talked about it, but it's like how shitty can they make the platform before everybody just gives up and just goes, yeah, I'm not watching Twitch anymore because it's so bad.
There was already an audience that's like, go to Kick because there's no rules, even though Kick is like figuring out, wait, we actually have to have rules now because the app stores are like, you need rules. You know that, right? So Kick is actually getting some rules now, but people went to Kick. Like, there are people that did. I don't know how many people actually went to YouTube like 100%, but people go, do stuff on YouTube. I find YouTube to be fairly okay, like as far as streaming is concerned. I have far less problems on YouTube streaming than Twitch in regard to like frame rates and things like that. I don't know why. I don't understand it. And then, Facebook, Facebook's not a thing anymore, really. It's just not a thing. So it's really just Kick and YouTube. I guess if we count TikTok, I don't know. I don't know. That's the problem. Is like, really, Twitch doesn't have a ton of serious competitors that are like also laser focused on streaming besides Kick. But Kick isn't even laser focused on streaming because it's Stake or whatever betting company. It's Stake, right? Whatever betting company is actually the one that made it. Gambling site. YouTube isn't. YouTube's more focused on the video on demand. That's their focus.
Yes.
Live streaming just benefits that. Twitch is the only one that's like, we focus on live streaming and that's it.
YouTube is the closest competitor, but I don't think it's very close.
No, it's not. It's really not. But yeah, I haven't even thought about Turbo at all, frankly. I don't know why, I just haven't thought about Turbo as like a something that I would do.
I haven't either. I don't watch Twitch that much anymore, to be honest. Like, maybe if I'm really bored, like, maybe I'll have a stream on in the background or something,
Sure.
but I'm not really watching it. Once in a while, when a new game comes out, I'll actually watch, but
Sure.
honestly, at least recently, I've much preferred just video on demand on YouTube
Right.
and just, like, watching video on demand
100%.
on YouTube, basically.
Probably because it's more tolerable.
Yeah.
You get an ad, and it's more tolerable, because I don't want to say all cases, but it feels like to me, with no data to support this, more often than not, I'm able to skip it.
Yeah, and at most, the ad, if you get an unskippable ad on YouTube, at most it's 30 seconds. It's
At most.
15-second ads. 2 15-second ads that are
Right.
unskippable.
My big problem is, it's usually like 30 seconds.
And the other thing on YouTube is, if you get an ad, you don't miss anything. If you get an ad on Twitch and something cool or important is happening in the stream, and you get like a 3-minute ad or something like that, well, there you go. You just missed whatever was happening, right?
And
YouTube, obviously, it's a video on demand. It pauses the video,
Right.
you watch the ad, and then you get back to what you were watching.
The other thing that Twitch does, or YouTube does, I'm sorry, not Twitch. I don't think Twitch does this unless you do like some weird method to do it. YouTube has a mechanism where I can click on the live stream and actually go backwards. I'm pretty sure I can do that on a live stream. On Twitch, there is a way to do it. It's just not intuitive. You like click into their videos or something.
Yeah,
and then
you have to go
boot
into
up.
their VODs.
It's not intuitive.
But not every streamer has, like, you can't always access the VODs if you don't
Right.
subscribe for certain streamers. Some streamers just delete most of their VODs because
Yep,
of
'cause
like
they play
possible
music.
because of possible DMCA issues, and it's just a disaster basically.
So, and I'm with you. I watch more YouTube videos now. Like, I'll watch some people, but I don't know. I usually only watch for like 30 minutes or so, and then I end up either having to jump onto something else, whether it's work or something else, or like I'm playing a game, or I just boot up a YouTube video. I don't know what it is, but I'm more interested in YouTube content now. And the reason why is because Twitch just pisses me off. Twitch ads just piss me off. And I feel bad when I have my own streams and our stream here, and people get an ad, and I'm just doing stuff, and I can't tell. Like, I can't tell when user A gets an ad. I can't tell.
No.
For YouTube, it doesn't matter. Like, if I was playing, had a video on YouTube, I don't care if ads play, because I know that user either is going to skip it or they're not going to miss anything. It's just going to start right from when the ad started.
Yeah.
But for Twitch, I feel bad because not a lot of people subscribe to me, which is fine. And then all these other people get hit with ads, and I have no control over that. I just have to be like, okay, well, user B got an ad. Oh, well. Like, you got an ad on my stream. Oh, well. Somebody else gets an ad on my stream and they're not subscribed. Like, well, I don't know that. And the problem is, the biggest problem is, to sort of end this point, and probably why they increased the price of Turbo, is the streamer, or the viewer, is generally just going to jump off your stream, and it's like you did something wrong.
Yep.
And the reason why Twitch Turbo becomes super valuable for some of those viewers isn't necessarily just because of that, but they just don't want to miss anything. Just don't want to miss a single moment. Not a single moment from the streamers. Because we know there are those viewers that hardcore watch streams almost all of the stream. And it sucks when you're like, every hour you have to miss like 2 minutes of it. Or whatever.
It's more like 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah,
now,
it is. No, it is.
I think.
It is. I don't know. But yeah, anyway.
The only thing that I would say that Twitch still has better than any other platform is obviously the live stream experience, but not exactly the stream itself, but the chat in the community and like the interaction with the people and the streamer.
Yes.
Twitch and the emotes, like Twitch still does that the best and still has that.
Yeah.
Compared to anything else. And if people are there, if they watch, 1 or 2 streams and are really involved with the streamer and the community, they're probably subbed in that case anyways.
Yeah,
but
true.
say they can't afford it or they're not, but they still have like the chat and the people they interact with right on Twitch. If you're on Twitch for that, then Twitch I think is still very good for that. But in
Yep.
terms of actually like watching streams and content, if you're not that into chatting and that aspect of it, Twitch is pretty crap now, to be honest.
Yeah,
So,
no, Twitch is really defined by it's funny. The service that Twitch provides is obviously a valuable service for people. I'm not going to disregard that. But like Twitch is propped up by communities. 100%. It's propped up by its communities. It's propped up by the big streamers. Like, let's just not even sugarcoat this. It's propped up by the 1% of streamers that actually allow the site to run. Successfully, however you want to define it. The small streamers, it's great for them because they get their their small communities and all that, but Twitch is propped up by the biggest communities. And that's the value of Twitch is the big communities, especially while the stream is happening, the experience is happening. Everything else, video on demand, ass. Pure and simple. Whenever I try and watch somebody's video on demand, the ads are horrible. It's butt. You may as well just not watch. It's horrible. I don't know what Twitch did, but they're like, oh yeah, for VODs, just crank up the ad dial. Just crank it. Who cares? Nobody's watching anyway. And that's not what people watch anyway. Like, everything else outside of the actual live stream experience for me on Twitch has really been frustrating. I do try and watch people's VODs after the fact because I have some people I know who stream like hours where I'm like sleeping or doing something else. Nope, can't do it, and I feel really bad. I'm just like, can't do it. Sorry, your video is a absolute tsunami of ads, and I can't stand it. And this is only in cases where I'm not subbed to them. And it's just, I'm just like, wow, okay, you really don't want people to do video on demand here, huh? It's really bad. I think Twitch's biggest issue is just unskippable ads if you're not subscribed and all that. Which is why many streamers put their VODs on YouTube.
Yep.
That's why they do that. Because it's way better over there. So, anyway. Any other thoughts on, well, obviously we just talked about Twitch as a whole, but like Twitch Turbo, like the whole reason why Twitch Turbo got a price hike is because ads are terrible. That's just it.
Yep. That's my guess, is that the demand for Twitch Turbo went up because the ad experience is really bad on Twitch right now. They're becoming more and more frequent, more and more intrusive, and people are like, well, I guess I better get Turbo, and now they're like, well, people are getting Turbo, so we'll increase the price.
It says a lot about the people that are making those decisions regarding those products. When they're like, wow, thank God the ads suck so much, I can hike this price up. It says a lot about you. When you're like,
remember when Twitch Prime first came out and there was no ads when you had Twitch
oh my God.
Prime?
Oh my God. Wow. For that 1 year and a half, maybe. I don't remember how long.
Yeah,
that was like the golden age. It was the
ads
golden
weren't even
age.
ads weren't even that bad on Twitch at that point. It was like you got one 30-second pre-roll at the start of the stream, and that was pretty much it.
It was the golden age. It was the golden age of Twitch, where they were like, Amazon was just coming in. Amazon didn't know what they were fully getting because Twitch obviously wasn't sharing all the, maybe all the information necessary, even though they obviously would during an acquisition. Amazon came in, and then after about 1.5 years, Amazon realized, wait a second. Wait a minute, where's the money going? Where's all the money gone? Wait a second, did we make this too good? Did we make this product too good? And they're like, we gotta take this back because we're losing out on a lot of money that we would have otherwise gotten. Oh my God, that was so good.
To me, this feels like again, I don't know what Twitch's numbers look like. I don't know, maybe they just lose money every year, but to me, I doubt it. To me, I think Twitch makes money, but they don't make enough money for Amazon.
Correct.
And they don't make more money. They're not seeing the exponential growth that like all these like investors and business people want. So they just keep cranking up the freaking dial to try and make more and more money. And it's just like, again, we've talked about this, but there was no infinite growth. There was no like at some point you just have to be happy with the money that the company makes and just
Right.
be okay with it and just stop, right?
At some point, the Twitch product right now is only going to hit so high because it isn't anything but a live streaming platform when push comes to shove. It is only a live streaming platform. Like, that to me means that, yes, you can still grow, but it's probably just going to be kind of steady.
Yeah,
It's probably just going to be kind of steady. And at some point, it'll start hitting maybe that logarithmic curve. But it's probably hit that curve, and Amazon's like, wait a second. Why isn't it going like this? But the problem is, this is the side topic, and I know everybody uses, like, it has to be a hockey stick. You know that they tell that to everybody now. When they're like, do you want to get venture capital money? Yeah, just show a hockey stick. Just show that you can actually do, like, exponential growth. They just tell them that.
Which is a lie.
That's what people tell you.
Of the time.
That's what people have told before. I've had this happen before with me. Like, this was a long time ago though, so. But it was like, they were like, yeah, just show like it could be a hockey stick. And I'm like, but I don't think it is a hockey stick. No, just show it. That's what they want to see. They want to see and have you explain that, and so it kind of makes sense. I'm like, okay, well. But that's what people want to see. They're just like, oh, I just want to see that you can keeps going up like crazy. And it's like, but Twitch isn't going to be like that because it's nothing but a live streaming platform. It would have to branch out into a different product section. It would have to start doing video on demand seriously, for example.
Yeah.
It would have to take it seriously.
The hockey stick model is like realistic for a certain period of time. If your company really takes off at some point, if you have a good idea and then it just takes off, you can get that exponential growth maybe for a couple of years, but then it's going to flatten out.
Yep.
And you just have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's only so much to go around.
And yeah, that's the problem, is there are just people that aren't okay with it. And those people generally, they sometimes they become decision makers, and they're like, well, I gotta get you guys to that. Twitch did make one good change, by the way. They made a change where you can edit your videos to be like vertical on platform. That was a good change. That was a nice addition. I've seen some people using it. It looks pretty good. It saves about, I would say, an hour of actual editing time from downloading to doing it through like a video editor. It saves about an hour. So I would say that's a good change.
Yeah, it feels like, with Twitch recently, it's kind of like a, well, I want to say it's like a poop. It's not really a poop sandwich because it's like, it's mostly poop, and then there's like one piece of cheese. They'll do like one good thing with like 2, 3, 4 bad things.
Yeah. So
it's like mostly poop, and then like one piece of cheese in the poop.
Yeah, so, and that was like the ability to edit your stream to be vertical. I haven't tried it yet, but I should try it just so I can see how effective it is. But when I was doing a lot of shorts and TikTok videos, generally it would take me about an hour to 2 hours to edit those if I was doing a lot with them. At some point I got like a system going where it took like only an hour, but like if I wanted to do a really complicated one, it was 2 hours. It seems like this could save that time quite like a considerable amount, which is super valuable, especially being able to just go directly into your VOD and do it from there. Saves a lot of downloading, uploading, blah blah blah. With time. So I give this like good. That's good. There you go. A good change. All right. Let's continue.